Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now, my goal is that at the end of this video is to show you guys another way that you can earn online, which is becoming a podcaster. Now, our guest for today is an 18-year-old Filipina. She's young and she's amazing. She's still a student even, and she's the former cheer captain of LaSalle Zobel, the current VP of Special Projects of YFC Zobel, social media manager of Esme PH, and Supremo Ice Cream, and the host of the podcast, The Filipina Journey. Hey guys, so without further ado, please help me welcome my guest for today, Miss Isabelle Vera Cruz. Hi, Isa.
Hey there. Hello. Happy to be here.
Yeah, excited to have you. You just had me on your podcast, and I'm so excited to have you on here. Yeah. So, this is very interesting for me because I love that you're a podcaster and at the same time you're also a student. So that's something that for a lot of people that I know, a lot of the teens, a lot of the students who also want to start getting into just the digital world, you've been able to jump into it. So tell me, how basically did you get started yourself?
I actually just started listening to podcasts the start of quarantine, the start of the pandemic. So it's not like the others that they knew about podcasting for a really long time and a newbie. But then how it all started is I got really bored, of course. Pandemic, we didn't really have anything to do much. And then I was on Spotify and then I saw the podcast. I actually never knew that there was a podcast, part there, a podcast tab on Spotify. And then I just saw it, and then I asked my older sister like what podcast she listens to, and then the first thing she recommended was Wake Up with Jim and Sab. It's Sab Magalona and Jim Bacardo, and I got really interested. I listened to everything, and then I started following more podcasts, and then about 8 months later, 10 months later, I started my own because I just wanted to do what they do, audio form, tell my story, inspire others. And that's how it all started.
That's pretty cool. And I love that, it was for me, I've been listening to podcasts for about 3 years and I'm a frequent fan of the Spotify category of podcasts. So that's pretty cool that's how I got started. What was the first skill that you had to really learn to get started? What was the first thing that you had to really work on with yourself?
Well, I think the most important skill you need to have is communication. Then I can say that I'm not really new to that since I've been a leader, being vocal and all that is not new to me at all. But then at the same time, I had to relearn that. I had to relearn and, be better in communicating, especially stopping the ums, the likes. It's really hard, of course, because I'm new to it again, and it's something I have to master. And right now, I'm still in the process of communicating properly, communicating effectively. And I think that's the skill, you need to have when you're a podcaster, knowing how to communicate, learning how to be creative also. Yeah.
True. And I can see, I remember when I was making my first YouTube videos, I was like, I have to cut the ums and the ahs when I was still editing my own video. So yeah, I can relate to that. So how did you get your first person to interview? How did you think of, because I love the title of your podcast, The Filipina Journey. How were you able to fully conceptualize that this is the message that you want to share?
Okay, so let's start with the meaning behind my podcast title. So we had a creative writing subject in class. Actually, just last year actually. And then we were tasked to make a bio note about ourselves, of course. And then I remember describing myself as an empowered Filipina. It's just part of the bio note. But then, it said empowered Filipina. And then I wanted to use that Filipina word. It's very beautiful to hear, honestly. Filipina, when you hear Filipina, the brown lady, living in the Philippines. And I just wanted to use that and incorporate my journey as a Filipina. That's why it's the Filipina journey. It's basically my journey in the Philippines, my experiences, advice, and all that. Coming with the first interview, who did I interview first? Actually, the first person I interviewed in my podcast is my twin sister. We talked about twins. We talked about the world of twins, and I really loved it. But then interviewing people I really don't know. It all started with joining the podcast VAs group. which I believe you know because you interviewed Lynn also,
Yep.
and
Yep.
she started that group. And I just posted there who's interested in guesting in my podcast, and then
Mm.
I got a lot of PM, a lot of people commented. So that's how
Mm.
I really got people to guest on my show. And but of course I had to look at their background first, like
Sure.
are they fit in my podcast and all that. But that's
Mm.
how I got the guests in my podcast.
That's pretty cool. So far, since doing that, you've been able to still balance with school. What has been the most surprising thing, I guess, of both being a podcaster, someone who's essentially, because it'll get to the point where you start getting sponsorships, collabs, and it becomes a business. What has been a surprising part about starting this, about this whole journey, basically, at this point?
Yeah, well, I actually already knew that I'll get sponsors. And right now, I'm actually getting a lot of sponsorships and all that. And that's not kind of
Nice.
surprising to me. But then one thing that surprised me actually is that it's hard.
Mm.
Podcasting is hard, especially that I'm a student, server, athlete, social media manager, intern, and also a podcaster at the same time. What surprised me the most is that there's a lot of effort you have to put in podcasting. It's just not uploading audio. I'm also the
Mm-hmm.
ones editing it, promoting it, creative marketing strategies.
True.
So the surprising thing for me actually is that the things you have to do beyond podcasting.
With that, and I love that you're talking about it, the things that you have to do beyond, like for example, like for me, it's not just recording these YouTube videos. I have to promote it, I have to market it, I have to figure out like what are the next couple of videos to keep the views up. But for you, what is the favorite thing that you've found so far about being a podcaster?
Well, of course, the favorite thing. I think this is such a cliche thing podcasters or influencers say. But then my favorite thing about being a podcaster is the people we get to inspire. Recently I've
Mm-hmm.
been getting DMs, them saying that they really love my episodes, that they really
Mm-hmm.
got inspired. And actually, I have one cuento that I really wanted to share. So
Yeah.
I have an episode about registering to vote. It's basically encouraging the youth to register to vote for the next
Mm-hmm.
year's election. And then I have someone tell me that, hey, Isa, I registered to vote online thanks to your episode about this. So just to that, it really made me smile, made me happy that, oh my gosh, at least I was able to inspire a person. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds pretty amazing. And I remember actually one of your listeners reached out to me and said, "Hey, listen to your podcast episode." I was like, "That's so cool." So you're definitely getting more reach. You're getting more people interested in the message that you're sharing, which is great. So far, what has been a shortcut that you've found that has just made things easier for you as a podcaster and also a student at the same time? I'm still surprised that you're able to juggle all of that, doing social media as well,
I
being a
know.
student
I'm
leader.
also surprised, honestly.
Yeah. So yeah, what has been a shortcut that you've done to balance all of that?
Well, honestly, for me talaga, I believe in, the saying nothing worth it comes easy. Something between those lines. But then a shortcut that I've found that made it easier, siguro social media. There's
Yeah.
app,
Mm-hmm.
Anchor made my life easier. And they're the ones who actually distribute my podcast to different forms. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, I can't really think of any because my journey in podcasting, it's still in the process and it's still, I'm still in it. So it wasn't easy at all. But then if I really had to say one thing, it's the social media technology. Yeah.
Yeah, being able to easily share. And I remember before when I was thinking of doing podcasting myself, I remember looking into Anchor. So I know how they make it so easy for people to be able to publish their podcast. So that's very awesome. You've been able to find that. Okay, so basically, like I've been saying, like you've had this amazing, like being able to share a lot of Filipino stories. I've been able to see a lot of my own friends actually within your podcast, a lot of people that I know within this space, which is great. But if you were to talk to Isa of last year, as you were starting your discovering podcast, podcast and you're starting to think, okay, is this something that I can do? What would be a piece of advice or a small step that someone can do to get started themselves when it comes to having your own podcast?
Okay, so first of all, let's ask myself, who am I a year ago? Myself last year, I was very shy, introverted person, and someone who knew me from podcasting wouldn't actually believe it, honestly. Like, I'm very talkative in my podcast, but then when I go out, I'm just shy. But then, if I give myself an advice from last year, I'd say, just do it. Don't let the others affect you. Don't let the judgment of others, stop you from doing what you love to do. If you love it, then go for it. Just stay true to yourself. You don't have to act fake just to get the attention of others, just to satisfy others. It will really not help you with your growth as well. And it will actually make it will make your mental health worse. So if you're passionate about something, just do it and just keep believing in yourself. The process may be slow, but then it will be worth it.
I love that. That's amazing. So, Isa, what is next for you? What is, I usually describe it as your big, hairy, audacious goal. What is something you're working towards?
Well, I'm working towards inspiring more people. Well, that's really the main goal of podcasting, inspiring more people. And, step by step, I'm doing it. But then that's just really the goal. And it's a process. I'm in the process of inspiring more people looking up to me. I mean, I don't want to sound boastful. I don't want to sound a pride or anything, but I just really want to inspire people, save a person's life or whatever. But yeah, that's really the goal.
That's amazing. No, I definitely understand of being able to show someone that they're not alone, that they have some support, even though it's someone that they've never met before, someone online. So that's amazing. So how can people support you? How can people find you? What's the best way for people to reach out to you and find you?
Well, I'm on all podcasting platforms, Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts and all that. And also, I actually talk to a lot of people on Instagram. It's the Filipina Chinny. People just DM me, they just say that what their thoughts are, and I'm always there to actually help them, to make them feel better and all that. So that's what I do. And I love doing that, helping people. And, I don't even have to share it to people, but I just love helping, and it makes me happy. It makes me happy to actually know that people are there for me. And yeah.
That's awesome. So, guys, I'll put all of Isa's links below so you can check out her podcast and also her Instagram. Thank you so much, Isa, for coming on. Thank you so much for sharing the stories of Filipinas everywhere and being able to inspire other people as well.
Yes, thank you so much also for having me.
Again, guys, I'm going to put all of Isa's links in the description below so you can check her out, and make sure to check out her podcast for sure. Now, make sure to comment below any person that you guys want me to interview, and we'll try to reach out and get them on my YouTube channel. And if you guys haven't yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home. You guys can check out more videos on how to get started with your career right here, how to get started with your business right here, and the newest video right here. And I hope you guys have an awesome day. Remember that small steps matters, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!